Y'all, we're back, baby!
Yes, sir.
In the flesh. Yes, sir, we're back. Beren,
Boys.
Bekius. Beren, boys, Bekius!
Let's do it.
Back in the studio. We know you guys missed the dynamic duo in person.
We're
I'm back
here.
in the States, the beautiful red, white, and blue United States of America. Back for Parshat. Bo. Let's get it.
Let's get right into it. All right. So in Parshat Bo, it starts off with the last of the 3 plagues, which are Arbe,
Locust.
Choshech,
Darkness.
Makat Bechorot.
The plague of the firstborn.
Right. So we have those 3 plagues, and then
Then we have the first mitzvah to make ourselves the months and the calendar, and we establish for ourselves the Jewish calendar, which is based not on the sun, but on the moon.
Then we're instructed to bring a Pesach offering, which is a lamb to be slaughtered, and its blood is sprinkled on the doorsteps of every home so that God can pass over.
like Passover?
Okay, we get
Okay.
the Jewish homes and not kill the firstborns.
Wow, Passover. Okay, so what do the Jews do? They roast the meat and they eat it with matzah and maror, the bitter herbs, and they enjoy themselves a good old meal.
Yep,
Without intrusion from God, who's killing all the firstborns.
exactly. Paro finally cracks after this makkah, after the 10th makkah of Makkah Bechorot, and forces the Jews out quickly.
Yes, after all those times of Moshe asking, let my people go, Paro finally cracks, his heart is not hardened, and he forces the Jews out of Egypt. And they do so very quickly because they're forced out, and because of that, they don't have time to let the bread rise. And so what they're left with is what we know
It's matzah. It's matzah.
Matzah, the unleavened bread, which they couldn't let rise, and so as a result, we don't let rise when we eat our own matzah.
Exactly. But right before they leave, they go to all the Egyptian homes and they take lots of gold, silver, and garments that were promised to Abraham.
Right, Berechush Gadol.
Yeah, that they would leave with lots of wealth and inheritance.
Right, everyone knows the story that they peeked in the cabinets and behind the couches during the plague of darkness and found out where all the gold and silver was. We'll never know, but that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
So, the Jews are commanded to consecrate each and every firstborn and observe the anniversary of the exodus from Egypt, known as the holiday of Pesach, in which we eat unleavened bread for 7 days and tell the story of the exodus to our children.
Lastly, we are commanded to wear tefillin on our arm and head as a reminder of the Exodus.
Yes, sir. Okay, so off from that Pesach story into Psachim, the Masechet and Gemara that we're on currently in Daf Yomi, but also that deals with the customs of Pesach, with a very interesting custom about pronouncing the audience for the Korban Pesach that we just spoke about.
All right, so this week in Daf Yomi, the Baraita states that when slaughtering a Korban Pesach specifically, it depends on who you're slaughtering it for, if it's valid or not.
Right, so when you are slaughtering the animal, there are 2 groups of people. There are circumcised men and uncircumcised men. Now, if when you're cutting the animal, you announce that the korban is for the circumcised men first, and then the other group, then the korban is valid because it's intended for a group of people who are circumcised and up to code.
Right. But if you do it for the uncircumcised, you say that it's for this group of people instead, the korban is invalid and you cannot have that korban Pesach.
So make sure when you're sacrificing your korban Pesach, you address it to the right audience and not
The circumcised men in the room.
Correct. So off the topic of Pesach and Psachim and on to the next section, which you guys know and love, the sports updates. As we know, as we tell you guys, if you're ever caught in a sports schmooze at the Shabbat table, LeBron versus Michael, or whether it's the current sports happenings, we got you guys.
We got you.
We got it covered right here.
All right, so starting off, this week in the NFL playoffs, we have the championship games, the Bills-Chiefs in the AFC Championship, and the Packers-Buccaneers in the NFC Championship.
Patty Mahomes is practicing, for those who are worried. I am worried.
But he is still in concussion protocol, so we'll see.
But we good. Back into the NBA, Kyrie Irving comes back from his game, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, let's start with back into the NBA.
Yeah. Back into the NBA, Kyrie Irving returns from his long break from the game to join his new teammate James Harden and semi-new teammate Kevin Durant. Very excited to see what that trio can accomplish. And unfortunately, Karis LeVert, a young budding star in the league, was found to have a mass on his kidney and is out indefinitely until further notice.
Hopefully he's all right.
Finally, we have some Musar for you guys, a short little Dvar Torah from your boys to share at your Shabbat table this week.
Yes, sir, let's do it. All right, so there's a pasuk that says, HaChodesh hazeh lachem rosh chodashim. This month for you is the head of the new months. So the question is, why does the pasuk have to specifically say, HaChodesh hazeh lachem? This Chodesh is to you. Who else would it be for? Like, this is talking to the Jewish people.
Right. So, what it has to do with is the importance that the Torah is placing on the deeds and responsibility of the Jewish people. The calendar is set up, and one may think that the calendar exists and has its importance outside of any human activity, right? Mm-hmm. God could tell the people, establish a calendar that exists beyond the actions of man and that you work within. But what God is telling the people instead is that the calendar, which entails the mitzvot and the schedule within which man is supposed to operate, all depends on you. And the perks of Judaism that involve the coming of Mashiach and the ability to strengthen your relationship with Hashem all depends on you. And it's the responsibility of each and every individual Jew, lachem, for you to work within a schedule and to abide by the holidays and the customs that will allow for you to strengthen your spirituality along with the calendar and the new months.
Yes, every Jew has to take the responsibility of the calendar, their time, their schedules in order to fit in Judaism and live life as a religious Jew.
Right, and so it's not just a Chodesh Hazeh, it's a Chodesh Hazeh Lachem. And so this week, this Shabbos for you guys, and every week of every month of every year, it's so important for you guys to, look inward, look at your family, look left and right, and think about how you're doing the best that you can to, worship each holiday and do the best that you can as an individual Jew.
For you.
And with that, until next time,
peace.